Welcome to the JP Outlaw Show, and it is I, the voice that makes him moist, JP, the Outlaw. Also, your favorite color commentator, here to give you my NXT review for Takeover Chicago. March 20th, 2017. So just to kick this off, this is a special episode. And we've on our 100th episode with Reaction and the JP Show combined. Our numbers are finally at 100. I'm glad that you guys agree. And this is a celebration occasion. It's joyous. We've been through so much together since the beginning. I think we deserve a clap. Yes. Yes, we do. Now, since we're on NXT, and I remember doing one of my first episodes was a state of the WWE and how I think they can take major talents and make it better. How I felt about Raw and SmackDown and NXT. And NXT was one of the highlights of the State of Wrestling address. And that was me coming back as a full-fledged fan, giving you guys news, rumors, and so on and so forth. The reason why I haven't done any news because there is none. To be honest with you, a couple of babies here and there, and this guy got fired who wasn't really important. They did offer CM Punk $1 million, the promotion that got the WWE shitting in their pants, which we'll go over later today, or maybe even tomorrow morning, after my Backlash review and predictions. So, now, since we addressed that elephant, let's go on and talk about NXT Takeover Chicago. Roderick Strong versus Eric Young of Sanity. Sanity comes out. Normal, routine Sanity move. Roderick Strong comes out. He does not come down the ramp. He jumps out of the crowd, attacks all the members of Sanity. Outside of Nikki Cross, who will be in a match later this night, which we'll talk about. But big ups to Roderick Strong. I like what he's doing inside the ring. I also like the promo work that they put into him in the past couple of weeks. How I feel about Eric Young and the group Sanity, I would keep them around on NXT for a little while longer. There's no need to bump them up. There's no need to break them up. You need that presence of that group. Now, again, I was thinking of the tag teams and them not being used properly or even correctly as far as the division after DIY is gone. I'm thinking you throw Eric Young and Killian Dane inside of a tag team. Let them win the Dusty Classic Tag Team Challenge. Go on to face Razor and Akam, the Authors of Pain, at TakeOver Brooklyn 3. And I think that would be a great build for that occasion, because the Dusty Classic is coming up soon. I don't even think they'll be running it, but even if you don't want to run it that way, you can still book them in key matches to where they've earned a title shot to go up against the tag team. But here to talk about this match, it was a good match all in all. I had Sanity winning this match, Eric Young, but it comes to find out it was Roderick Strong who took the win in this match. Now, moving on to Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne for the United Kingdom title. This is how I feel about the United Kingdom title. It does not have a home yet. It's been floating in La La Land for a few months now. And, you've gotten specials here and there. And it's every once in a blue moon. But you finally showcased the title in a title defense, which is great. Which is good. But now you have to ground this championship. You have to get people interested in watching the UK tournament. You can even go as far as making sure that NXT has a UK spot every year. As far as the NXT United Kingdom Championship is concerned, just rebrand it. Drop the WWE, make it an NXT title. Keep the way it looks, all that. But make it exclusive for NXT. Because they need that title. They need something in the middle. That way you don't have to put too much pressure on your heavyweight champion or your tag team division. Lord knows the women's division after tonight obviously needs help. Because I will explain that as well. But that's not to take away from what these two men did in the ring. It was fucking phenomenal. Knees, elbows, strikes, and the submissionist skills from Pete Dunne was top by none else. Nobody else, not even William Regal himself, could have came up with the submission moves that I was seeing out there today or last night. It was a great match. I think this was the highlight of the night, and if not, the whole WWE being in Chicago in the first place. I know they are looking for a big pullback from Shinsuke Nakamura, but I think this may even top that as far as just appearances and pure skill in the ring goes. These two guys locked horns, and Pete Dunne came out the better man. As everybody knows, they are high on Pete Dunne. And you knew eventually he was going to get the title. It's not that I think Tyler Bate would be a great challenger. Again, there has to be a rubber match. After this, you have to do a rubber match. I think Tyler Bate would be a great challenger for the title after being repackaged. You first of all, you gotta get rid of the intro and just his attitude. You should make him losing the title be just as important as him winning the title. And it'll make for a better storytelling when he goes to fight Pete Dunne, because you already call him the bruiserweight. And you can already promote this division the same way you've been promoting. And have Pete Dunne taking out number one contenders left and right until you get to Tyler Bate. And you can have that go off and end up somewhere around, again, your next pay-per-view, which would be Takeover Brooklyn 3. Okay? Just saying. You should build it up. This match was fucking phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to overplay it, overbook it, or anything like that. I wouldn't change one thing about the match. It was a perfect build. It was slow. JR was on commentary. JR probably could have said more, but I think I like what they did with Nigel McGuinness, letting him take over lead just for this match, because other than that, I don't see Nigel McGuinness sticking it out in NXT. I feel as though they'll move him up to the main roster eventually, once they get somebody else in there to do commentary. Okay, now we go into Asuka versus Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross for the NXT Women's Championship. I feel as though this match should have been the first match of the night. Even if you had a pre-show card where you could have put this show right up there. And I say that because of this. One, you haven't built anybody outside of Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, and Ember Moon, and Asuka. First of all, Asuka is supposed to be a dominant champion, so you can build her like that. How do I feel about her pinning both women in the middle of the ring? I would have really let Riott take the loss on that. And then have her come back and beat Nikki Cross, because Nikki Cross hasn't really taken a loss either. She hasn't. I mean, she got knocked out via the tables, the last 4-way match that they had for the women's title. And again, it's going to be just a overbooked push women's match. And I don't mean anything by it. I think the women's division in NXT is great. But you have to build the talent. They're trying now with the Sonya character, but she has a fuck gimmick because she's a MMA fighter in the WWE arena. You know what I mean? What's the other one? Lacey something? You have to put more, invest more time in these women's character and these women's demeanor. And I think their matches will be just as over as the men because you see the time that they invest in the men. Look at Roderick Strong. You just gave him a video package. There's rumors that the WWE loves how the video package went over for Roderick Strong. You can do that with other talent because there's other talent out there to do that with. So Oscar winds up picking up the win with this match. A nice back and forth. You can see the Green and Ruby Riot, but I think Oscar and Nikki Cross carried her very well. And for the most part, I give this match not the best match, so I give it like a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 ain't bad. Tyler Bates, of course, 5 out of 5. Roderick Strong and Eric Young, a 4 out of 5. Going into the next match, you had the glorious one, Bobby Roode, going up against Bobby Roode going up against Hideo Itami. And this was an okay match. I think they both oversold the match and a nice little back and forth. Of course, Bobby Roode hits him with the 2 of the imploder DDTs to pick up and win the championship. What do you do next for Hideo Itami? I seen some clips earlier today where he's losing his shit in the back. He's being met by Owe Lorcan and Cassius Ohno. And he's losing his shit because, again, he's putting a lot of pride and belief into the fact that he would win the title for his countrymen. And he did not. And that's okay. But that's a perfect build to make him move up to bigger and better things. I think he'll be way more appreciated in 205 Live. Only because he can bring a different element to 205 Live. You can give the title to Austin Aries, and him and Hideo Itami can pick up where they left off in NXT. What's next for Bobby Roode? Well, you see the build that they're putting in is a Roderick Strong. I would like to see Cassius Ohno right after him. But it is clear that they're going to go with Drew McIntyre. It is very clear the way they're building Drew McIntyre, the way they're holding him back. Just looking at this card right here, he should have been somewhere placed on the card just so he can get that win to go up against somebody like Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode, being the champion that he is, took every cheating turn to win this match, even when he, and I'm just going back into the match because this just shows the skill that Bobby Roode, the ring awareness that Bobby Roode has when he took the go to sleep and literally rolled himself out the ring, causing a little bit of separation between him and Hideo. Hideo crawls out the ring, throws Bobby Roode back in the ring, tries to pick up the win. He kicks out and, of course, hits him with the 2 glorious exploder DDTs and wins the match. And that's just to go to show how much work that they're putting into Bobby Roode to be a dominant champion, to be a mainstay inside of NXT for quite some time. So don't look for Bobby Roode to lose the title maybe at maybe, and I say very maybe, unless if he's going up against Drew Galloway. Don't look for Bobby Roode to lose the title anytime soon. And that's all I want to say about that. And for the main event, the tag team titles are on the line for NXT. You have the Authors of Pain versus Do It Yourself DIY. In this match, in a ladder match, which to me, the belts were too low. But once I seen what they were trying to do, it made sense on why the belts were so low. There were a couple of big spots in this match, and we'll go over. That's why I probably saved it for last. That's why I didn't want to get too much into the Pete Dunne and the Tyler Bate match, which went 16 minutes. I'm just going to tell you guys, go see